Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And this morning I'm having a conversation with David Harris, who lives in the middle of nowhere, but relatively near Westerham in Surrey. So, good morning, David.
Good morning. It's actually Kent, but yeah.
Oh, Kent, of course it's Kent. I'm
But we
getting your
are on the
geography
border.
muddled up.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, I've moved Surrey over quite a bit, so I don't think they'll thank me for
Not
that.
really. It's right on the border with Kent and Surrey, so it is
Oh,
Surrey is
okay.
literally about a
Oh, I
mile
wasn't
away.
far off then.
No, no,
Yes,
it's
a lovely area, a lovely area to live. But yeah, so um, my question for you is, what do you enjoy doing when you're not working?
when I'm not working. Well, there's
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that it's difficult to, sort of when you work for yourself and when you work from home, and I know a lot of people I network with will appreciate this, is that it's hard to switch off from the work side and do the leisure side. But
Mm.
um, there are things that I enjoy. That I enjoy history. I mean, I've always enjoyed history. I did history A level when I was, um, and since, well, even before that, I was always interested in um, history and especially ancient history, which seems boring to some
Mm.
people, but it's
It's fascinating history, isn't it, though?
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah. I
sort of
mean,
think back.
I think I
Yeah.
was inspired by I had a junior school teacher. She was really um, uh, she obviously did. I don't know this for sure, but obviously she did Roman history at university or something, and she came to us and we did like little Roman plays and things. And since then, I just became interested in
Yeah.
sort of Roman history. But then there's a lot of history outside of Rome,
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah. But isn't it
so
great that a teacher that inspires children to have that interest?
mm. Oh yeah, yeah, because she wrote plays for us and things like that.
Mm.
Plays that we performed in front of the rest of the school, and it was um,
No, that's brilliant.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Managed to
And
get.
the form of history. So, there are several forms of history. So is it sort of buildings? Is it battles? What element is it? Or is it all encompassing?
Yeah, I mean, the problem with ancient history is that we most of what we know, most of what's been written down that comes from inscriptions and comes from historians is about kings and about
Yeah.
nobles and about the rich and the famous, and all we know about ordinary people comes from archaeology. So
Yes.
there's no one's written anything about the little guy. No one's written anything about there might be the odd mention of a blacksmith, I say, because it's a really important job, but most people don't get a mention. So
Mm.
it's the history is built from, like I said, from archaeology. So it's kind of a difficult thing. So I'm interested in both, um, because they're both provable.
Yes.
There's well, inscriptions tend to be whoever's written the inscriptions tends to brag about their achievements, and how they conquered their neighboring lands and
Yeah.
put them all to the sword and scattered them to the four winds, and all this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So um, it's you can take out that hyperbole because there is normally more than just the subscription. You've This subscription, the script so there's other things to back it up, because
Yes.
there was it's when the Assyrians attacked um, what we call Israel now, Judah. It was there's there was two accounts. One, you've got the inscriptions from the Assyrian king on the walls of his temples, but you've also got what was written in the Bible, and the two things match up pretty well.
Mm.
They're from different perspectives, but so that event happened.
Yes.
You don't know um, quite how it ended because you got two different accounts.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
so it's
Yeah. I had an interesting experience when I was a kid. Must have been about 12, 13. And my late father was fascinated with history, and he knew the archaeologist Sir Mortimer Wheeler.
Oh, right, yes.
And he was down at South Cadbury doing a dig.
Mm,
So we clambered, my poor mother pushing the pram up up the steep hill. And the dig was King Arthur's Longhouse.
right.
And
Okay.
you could see the posts for the longhouse. You could see where the horse carts went. You can see where the post went for the gate, and the ruts where the wooden wheels,
Yeah.
made the grooves. And I mean, I
Mm.
could draw that for you as if it was yesterday. Could I tell you what was on page 10 of my history book? No.
No, that's right. Of
It's
course,
just fascinating. Mm.
King Arthur didn't exist, of course, but I mean, it would have been
Yeah.
named that after somebody else, you know. So
Yes.
it doesn't discount the archaeology because it's still valid. It's um
Yes. We
just a
know King
local name
Arthur
for what it
was
is.
you know,
Mm.
yeah. But
Because I used to live
yes,
in Wiltshire before I moved to London. I used to live in Wiltshire, and I used to um there was a place. Um, there's obviously Stonehenge that everyone's heard of,
yeah.
and you know it's millions of tourists and things. You got another one called Avebury, which is a massive stone
Love
circle.
Avebury.
Uh,
Absolutely love it.
yeah, yeah. Shame they built a road right through the middle of the circle,
It is, isn't it? Yes.
and in the 1900s, priests were keen on breaking the stones up um, to demonstrate the victory of God over the
Yeah. It's
over
always
the
proof to
old
do
ways.
something, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's there. And there's another place called Barbary Castle, which was there, which is an Iron Age fort. But people see Barbary Castle on the map, they go there and say there's nothing here. But it's like earthworks, that's all that's left. But
Mm.
they just dug a huge ditch, and there's a again, it's a huge circle.
Circle.
It would have been a wooden fortress, I guess we'd call it
Yes. Yeah.
back in the
No,
day.
it
But
is. It's isn't it fascinating how and the links. So you have these sort of circles, stone circles. Obviously, lots in Scotland,
mm,
but also you have sort of the ley lines as well,
yeah,
that are sort of linked with those. It's all very fascinating and something that a lot of people, you say the word ley line, and they look at you blankly,
yeah,
thinking,
that's
"What
right.
the hell are you on about?"
Yeah, yeah. Well,
But it
I mean, obviously Avebury had some sort of religious significance, otherwise they
yes.
wouldn't have built it the way they did.
Yeah.
Because you've got Kennet Avenue, Kennet Way, there's there's like an avenue that goes down to the circle, and
That's
you've
right.
got
Yeah,
Silbury Hill, which is like I don't know if you know Silbury Hill.
I do.
It's a
Yeah.
massive man-made hill.
Yep.
Um, that Victorians used to think King Sil was buried at the bottom of it and with all his gold. So they dug loads of little tunnels in there trying to find the gold, and they never did. So it's
It never did because it wasn't there. Yeah.
no.
But
The most compelling argument I saw was that if you look at it from the sky, it could have been because they used to worship the Earth goddess, which was the power of the earth, I suppose. And the Silbury Hill would be the belly of a pregnant goddess
yeah.
because you have the legs and then you have the head at the top and
Hmm.
then you have the hill in the right place. But nobody knows for sure, of course. But I mean,
Of course. Yeah. And then of
it's
course you've got Glastonbury. Glastonbury
mm,
tour.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
All sort of
yeah.
fascinating. Yeah, it's all fascinating. Yeah.
So,
I
yeah,
I
so history is what I do in my spare time. Well, not my spare time, but I do watch a lot of YouTube videos as well as
yes.
and and I think um I know we I know we all do shorts and you do shorts, I do shorts, you know, like little short snippets, but I prefer the longer form, and I think I'm a bit concerned about the short form because with the TikTok generation, people's
Mm,
attention span is so short that it's like 30
yes.
seconds, you know,
It
because
is a worry.
yeah, have you made TikTok videos?
I don't do TikTok. I can just
No.
about cope with what I use now. Adding another one
Well,
to the mix, well, I just go to pieces.
I'm not a typical TikTok. I've got to admit, I'm 65. I'm not really, it's my granddaughter's generation rather than me. But I did put a video on there, and I think I may have mentioned this in the networking, but we've got I I put a video on there, and I got 700 views overnight, and I thought,
Oh,
"Wow, brilliant! This is a untapped resource."
yeah.
And then I looked at the dwell time, and it was about the average dwell time was 3 seconds. So,
No.
so before the average
Three
person watching three
seconds.
seconds before they swiped up, which meant loads of people did 1 second. So they just saw my face and thought, no, not watching him.
Rude.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah,
rude.
goodness mine. So it's
That's amazing. A second
yeah, that
at
was the dwell
three
time. So,
seconds.
yeah, out of a
It is a worry, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
This lessening and more lessening attention span. Uh,
Yeah, I think it's a worry, yeah,
yeah.
because I think it's you're not going to learn as much, and you can't get into things like there are long um I mean the video I'm watching on YouTube at the moment is like 6 hours long,
Oh
it's
gosh. Yes, that certainly wouldn't come into their realm, would it?
no,
Yeah,
it's
I
about
hope
the
it
third in empire.
changes. I hope
Yeah.
it changes because
Mm.
we're in for a hard time. Job wise, if they can't have the attention span more than 3 seconds, none of them are going to hold down jobs, are they? On board with that.
Yeah,
Next.
yeah. But they'll watch it for 30 seconds if it's a cat with its sort of backside on fire, or it's something that's going to make them laugh. But
Yes.
there's sorry to any cat lovers that are watching this, but there's sorry, Steffi, but there's yeah, I think it's um
Yeah.
it's got to be or somebody falling over. People watch all the way through those, so I think it's uh
Mm.
and and I concerned because like TikTok when they first came out, and they can't do it in Europe anymore, but they gauge your reaction. They're actually filming your face and watch your reaction to certain videos, and then they'll know to feed you more of that particular video. If you laugh at a certain thing or your eyes light up at a certain thing, they can then
Wow.
uh, feed you more videos of that same ilk. And it's and then there's developing glasses where you can have TikTok in the little corner of the glasses while you're walking like down the street. So you don't
What?
you don't have to leave TikTok alone even when you're not at home.
Oh my days.
So
That's really
that's the
a
problem.
worry.
Yeah.
A
I think it
real
wakes our brains
worry.
up. I mean, our brains are pretty active now at the moment. We
Well,
get so
yes.
much stimulation, that we get
But
with
to
sort of stuff
have
in our time.
glasses that you have, oh, really?
Mm.
Go out for a walk in nature and just leave it all behind, you know?
Yeah, that's
It
right.
just, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
My
I think you have
goodness
to
me,
switch
I
off.
didn't even know such things existed.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Well,
See,
I think Meta have already got their glasses out, haven't they? Already, it's
I
been talked
don't
about
know. I didn't
quite a few
even know it was
months.
a thing, David.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Wow. That's
mm.
that's a huge worry. My goodness me.
But it is because
Wow.
I mean, if you're walking down the street watching it, you're not going to be focusing on the traffic or
No,
anything.
you're not. You're just going to be walking into lampposts, getting killed on the road.
Yeah, yeah.
It
And
just doesn't
I,
bear thinking about.
I mean,
Wow.
our brains are still the same brains as when we were banging the rocks together in front of the cave. I mean, and it hasn't changed that much. We've evolved somewhat, but not massively, and it's
Do you
so it
think
is a
we've gone backwards
concern.
in some ways?
Yeah, I mean, I've read that our brains may be getting smaller or we may be becoming less intelligent,
Well,
and
I'm not
with
surprised if they've all got a 3 second span,
yeah, that's right,
attention span. I mean, it's just atrocious.
that's right, yeah, yeah, and yeah, I guess it's a bit of a debate on evolution, isn't it? So
Yeah.
about whether it's because there's the purest evolution sense that because we keep people alive and that would have previously died, we don't our we're becoming weaker in that sense, even though
Hmm.
for obvious reasons we're not going to let them die. But there's it's it
Well,
is
yes,
a
because years ago, I mean, people used to die what in the 20s and 30s, and
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah, I
mean,
mean now people live 80 years longer than that, don't they?
yeah, yeah. I mean, the child. I mean, in the periods I read about, I mean, child mortality was. I think it's something like a 50% chance of getting to your fifth birthday, um, in um, in healthy societies, you know,
Yeah.
and where you've got famines and everything else, it would be substantially less.
Mm.
And then you've
Yes,
got to get
history is
through.
it is
I,
fascinating.
yeah, because I guess we've all had infections that might have carried us off, and we've taken
Yeah.
antibiotics, and now we're okay, you know. And
Yeah.
we would have been kicking up the daisies if we'd
We
been living
would. We
200 years
would.
ago.
Yeah. And of course, people that died in childbirth, there was
Mm,
nothing to, help with that sort of thing. So, yeah, you
right.
could look at all sorts of elements, couldn't you, of people, dying of at a young age.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is although, talking about somebody dying is a bit morbid, but it's all history. It's all our social history.
yeah,
That
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, childbirth is an incredibly dangerous business, you know.
it was.
And if you consider that one childbirth, you know, giving birth to one child is so much more dangerous years ago than it is today. And
Mm.
then they had 9 kids, you know, you sort of
Yes.
multiplying that danger up.
Yeah.
I,
It does make you think, really, doesn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a huge number of women died in childbirth. Yeah,
Yeah.
so um,
Yeah.
but
No,
then,
it's and the biting on something for the pain because there were no painkillers. You just had to. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Gosh.
yeah,
Well,
but
my goodness me, I wasn't expecting a topic of history, but fascinating. Yeah. Why not?
yeah, yeah,
Because we're as a result of history, aren't we?
yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I think it's in, you know, they say that those that don't learn from history are condemned to repeat it, you know, and in some ways that's true. So
Yeah.
it's
Think
I
so.
think a lot of kids in my school, at least, I don't, they're probably still around today, said um, they don't see the point in history. You know, it's gone. You know, and
But
there's
but yeah, that's a bit of a strange statement, isn't it? I'm not
I want to
bothered
see
with
where I'm going,
history.
not where I've been. You know, that sort of
Yeah,
thing. And it's
yes.
but it's
Hmm.
yeah, it is a there were lots to learn. You know, mistakes that have been made, and
Yes.
um, you know, you talk about the Second World War and Hitler and things.
Yeah.
How you stop that from repeating itself, I'm not quite sure because people forget, but it's kind of a
You have to learn and go forward from
mm,
history, don't you? If
yeah,
you
yeah.
don't, we're up a creek without a paddle.
And then you say, well, we've seen all this before. I've, I was really interested in politics when I was a teenager, and it's Ted Heath. Um, I guess by the time I was interested, Ted Heath had gone, and it was kind of a Labour government in 1974,
Mm.
and so that's when I think it's when I started getting me. I first got a paper round, you know, and I was going
Yeah.
around delivering these newspapers. So I was reading the newspapers I was going around.
Yes.
I could probably have named any member of the cabinet
Oh.
when I was 14 or 15, all of them. And today I would be struggling, you know.
Mm.
If I only hear about them when they resign, you know.
Yes.
It's
Yes. Who are they?
yeah. I mean, I know the Prime Minister is, I know the Chancellor of the Exchequer is because she's all been in the news lately. But I know Ed, who's the green guy, Ed Miliband. So
Yeah.
I don't think, oh, and yeah, some of the faces I remember, but I can't remember their names. So
Mm.
my interest in that subject has waned
Well,
substantially
yes,
over.
and the I think because politics have changed over time. I mean, I
Mm,
know that much, and I try I avoid the subject, which is, people could say, well, you're sticking your head in the sand, but yes, maybe I am, but
yeah,
yes, what I say isn't really going to make any or have any bearing on
I
what
think that's what a lot of
happened.
people feel these days. People feel a
Yeah,
bit disengaged, and they're sort of and
yeah,
they say, well, it doesn't matter what I think. Is they're going to do what they want anyway, you know. So there's a lot of that attitude
yes.
around, and it's
It is, and it's a shame, isn't it, that people have
pretty
got to
well
think
founded
like
as well.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, it's
But yeah, quite a different spectrum of conversations. Um, thank you very much for joining me today, David. It's been
so,
enlightening, shall we say, learning a little bit more about you um, from the meetings that we have once a week. Um, and for those that don't know, David and I network together for our businesses and a peppercorn networking that David does. But I'd like to thank you for coming along today, David, and thank you for my viewers for viewing what would be, or what has been, I should say, a very interesting conversation with you. So thank you very much.
okay, thank you. It's a pleasure.